Welcome to Fish Fingers and Custard Explosion Hour, Doctor Who After Show. I'm Dylan Blight, and joining me in his first regeneration is Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here. Oh no, I think I need to regenerate. No, I'm not regenerating, it's fine.
I'm just gonna, I don't know, maybe after like next season I'll regenerate you and just randomly change the title to say that you're in a second regeneration. You'll be like, when did that happen? I don't know.
It's like I was forced to regenerate into myself. It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
You're like, oh, this is disappointing.
This week we are talking about the special, The Power of the Doctor. I guess it's technically the BBC Centennial special, but directed by Jamie Magnus Stone, written by Chris Chibnall. Synopsis of which was, having faced many perilous journeys, battling some of the most feared monsters throughout space and time, it's the final installment for the 13th Doctor. This epic blockbuster special will see the Doctor fight Eve across the galaxy one last time, but just who will she come against in the final battle before the Doctor regenerates once more? Ash, what did you make of the 90-minute The Power of the Doctor?
Yeah, it was solid. I think there were certain high points throughout the episode, but there was also an element of like, what the fuck is going on a lot running throughout it. Yeah, I think people will feel like it's a satisfying enough end to Jodie Whittaker's run as the Doctor. And then, yeah, it was good, but a bit of a mess as an episode. But you know, as a centenary episode, I feel like for fans who are long-time watchers of the show, particularly people who watched like before this new Who era, there was definitely a lot of nods to those people, and like obviously you've got Ace and Tegan, who have never featured in this new iteration of the show, coming back and like having the other Doctors play a part and that kind of stuff. I feel like a celebration and coming together. But yeah, I enjoyed it overall. What about you?
I feel like the best way to sum it up is like the bar was pretty low. So like as far as a finale for Jodie Whittaker's run on Doctor Who goes, that this feels about right. That's like, I really was not coming into this expecting this amazing.
To be mind blown, yeah.
To be mind blown. And again, it's nothing to do with Jodie Whittaker. I think Jodie Whittaker's a really great Doctor. I just think Chibnall's proven himself to not be a great choice for a Doctor Who showrunner.
Yeah.
Other shows, sure. Doctor Who just didn't
Broadchurch, very good.
Work out, yeah. So yeah, the episode's just it just starts wild from the outset with you got the train and space train and all this sort of stuff, and it consistently throws all these plot threads and developments and whatever else, and it quickly moves from one scene to another to another to another. It really is like a thing of, you get so much whiplash that you don't really have time to question like what the fuck's going on. Like, you trying to explain to me what even is what is what is even going on in this episode? And it's like when you try and boil it down, it's like, all right, here we go. You have the Master, and he's in like 1901, and he's there as what the fuck, I'm meant to blank on the dude's name now. Oh shit. Rasputin. Rasputin, sorry. He's there, but then he's also current day, and he like gets himself captured for a sick plan, and then it's to get the Cybermen in, and the Cybermen get into unit, and one of them's actually the Cybermen from like 2 seasons ago that we thought died, and the Master's like, yeah, I cloned him and brought him back to, like, it's literally like a throwaway line. Like, he's like, we're friends now.
Like, why is he a big deal?
It's like from 2 seasons ago. I had to quickly look it up. And they're like, They quickly do a throwaway line because they're like, for people who actually care, yeah, he did like die or whatever. And then the Master's like, yeah, I cloned him, we're friends now. A throwaway line. And then you got this other thing where you've got like these Daleks and one of them's a traitor, which should be a really big storyline, but like it's just a sort of throwaway thing. And they're trying to exploit all the volcanoes at the same time to melt the human population, while the Master's big plan is to forcefully regenerate the Doctor into himself so that he can just become the Doctor, and then the Doctor never gets to Doctor never gets to regenerate again into the Doctor, because the Doctor is now the Master, and then gets to ruin the Doctor's reputation, and then the Daleks are just going to melt the Earth and the Cybermen, and the first half hour of the episode, a whole bunch of stuff happens, and then the Master shows up, and then he does a 10-minute speech explaining to you everything that you just watched in the 30 minutes prior and why all of things were happening. So yeah, it's that sort of episode where you just sort of characters just tell you what's happening, and you don't actually know, like it's you're not actually like watching it. It's just
not even our hero figures out what's happening.
No. And then the Doctor throughout this whole episode is doing this thing where she's like shocking people, all because she just very luckily just had this technology which is going to create this fucking hologram. So that worked out well for her. And then, the Master loses because a hologram walks into a room and the Cybermen shoot all of one another. That's how that all works out. So, yep. I mean, when I start boiling, like, I enjoyed watching it because it was just, again, it was so whiplashy. Like, it was like, bam, 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 thing. And, like, it was fine. I was like, as I said, like, I went in with pretty low expectations. But the second it was over and I started going, like, trying to boil out what happened, I'm like, yeah, no, this is about as well written as everything else that's been done in the Chibnall area. So,
like, why was Vinder here?
Vinder's there because he's he's a big character in this run. Huge, fair favorite, Vinder from Flux. So. And there's just other, like, I feel like, so my positives are, hold on, one other random negative. Dan, after all the other times he's nearly died in any other episode, suddenly this episode's like, man, I nearly died. And I'm like, yeah, that's happened. Like, you've nearly died a lot, Dan.
That's what happens every episode.
Yeah, nearly every episode, I'm pretty sure you probably nearly died. I've seen you nearly die several times. He's like, yeah, I nearly died, so I'm just going to peace out. I'm like,
I mean, really, he hasn't been on that many adventures, seeing as he came in Flux. Flux ran an entire season, was the one continuous story.
Yeah.
And there's been 2 specials since?
Yeah, and then all the ones we haven't seen, I guess, adventures, and that's you always presume the stuff you haven't seen. That's the implication. But yeah, it's something just like he's out.
The threat of like being let loose in space to slowly float away to your inevitable death would like be maybe a turning point.
I just thought that was random. When the episode started, I was like, oh, Dan's just out 10 minutes in, sure. I did enjoy, was it Sacha Dhawan?
Yes.
Full scene Chewie Master, I'm sort of all about. Yep. I feel like in previous episodes or during his run as the Master, has been trying to be a bit more slow, menacing Master, like a bit more serious. Whereas in this one, it's just like, nah, fuck it. Like I'm wild. Like I'm just going to do a full rah Rasputin just dance sequence. That's probably the highlight of the episode for me, to be completely honest. I think that was the best 2 minutes of the episode.
The Cybermen looking at the Dalek.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck's going on? He's doing a full dance.
What have we done?
Why have we signed up to work with this guy? Yeah, I think that was the highlight. So full scene Chewie Master really worked for him, I feel. And then I did like so I don't have any nostalgia fatigue in the race. Like, I haven't watched I obviously wasn't watching it, wasn't live when their stuff was on or whatever. But I did feel like their respective sort of Doctor scenes felt earnest and like good for, I guess, like, from what I could at least tell. I mean, if someone's a big fan of those runs and those Doctors and thought it was bad, sure, but
those iterations of the Doctor, I feel like I appreciated the awkwardness of, hey, you disappeared. We haven't seen you in 30 years. What the hell? Yeah, that element of it, of the show that the show's never kind of addresses, and it doesn't really address here.
No, well, the interesting thing is, so I think, so was it? I think it's Colin. Was it Colin Bay or I can't remember which one's which now. But Colin Baker or Peter Davison, one of them is one of their doctors, right? And they just do the whole
Colin
thing.
Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, but so one of them regenerates and they just do the whole thing. So Colin Baker and Peter Davison, whichever one of them regenerate regenerate, and then Ace or whichever one like just disappears, Tegan, whichever one, because they do the whole thing where they start new companions. The interesting thing with Sylvester McCoy is that, of course, he was the Doctor, and then the show just ended, and then they had Paul McGann come in with the Doctor Who movie. So you never actually see what happened,
how things ended.
How things ended. So that was sort of the interesting thing with that companion, with Ace. Yeah. So that was the interesting part there. Really cool, talking about all the doctors and everything like that. So it was cool to see all of them actually here compared to, what was the special? The one where they all used archival footage, the can't remember the name of the special now.
Yeah, the 50-year special.
50-year special or whatever. But that had all the archival footage and stuff for all the doctors standing there, whereas this actually just had Colin Baker, Pete Davison, Paul McGann, Sylvester McCoy. They were all there, and then of course you had David Bradley as William Hartnell, which was really cool. Did you ever watch
Doctor? That was what it was called.
That was it. Did you ever watch that special where David Bradley actually plays William Hartnell, like the one about Doctor? Did you ever watch that? Yeah, and that was really good.
With Peter Capaldi. It was like his regeneration episode, I think. Was it?
No. I mean, like the movie thing where, like about the show Doctor Who that they put out. Did you ever watch that? No, should watch that one time, maybe just for a bonus thing on here or something. I don't know, but it was. I actually thought it was pretty good because obviously that's where he played William Hartnell first. Was David Bradley played William Hartnell as William Hartnell in that, I can't remember the name of that movie special thing, but that they put out about Doctor Who. But then, yeah, of course, they had David Bradley come in and do the William Hartnell thing again after that because everyone really liked him in that, playing William Hartnell. And then they brought him back again for this, so worked out really good. Other thing I didn't like, and I felt like they were so close to just finally doing it, making everyone happy. And just ending on a note, the Yaz Doctor romance, nowhere. I feel right near the end, I was like, I'm just like watching, staring at TV, like, fucking kiss. Just fucking kiss, damn it! Like, and then you got nothing. So I honestly feel like that's such a huge missed opportunity because at this stage, the people who the fans of this run, I feel like the Jodie Whittaker run of this show, the people who were actually watching Doctor Who were enjoying it for what it was, or really enjoying it. Maybe there's some people out there who really love this run. That's fine. I feel like most of those people were. Anyone watching it was totally aboard this Yaz Doctor romance. And the people you were going to piss off by having them just do a little kiss at the end, they were going to complain about it for a little bit, and then they were going to get over it because Jodie Whittaker's just left. Like, she's just regenerated, right? So it's not like you do it, like, and you have years of people complaining, like, Doctor Who's ruined all this. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like after all the teasing, like, and they really, and this isn't even people pulling it out of their ass anymore, because obviously we talked about how in Flux and everything, they tease this, like, with conversations the Doctor has with people, the conversations that Yaz has with Dan, and, like, all this sort of stuff. Like, they do this conversation, and then to not do anything with it in the very last moment, I felt like was kind of cheap. Like, it would have been one thing if it was just fan shipping, but after the Flux, after the last season, and then integrating that into the show and having characters discuss it and very much making it like very much 100% implying that Yaz has feelings, and then basically implying the Doctor has feelings back, but like it kind of felt
addressed.
It never being like, that was sort of really disappointing.
I mean, yeah, I can understand why they went in this direction, just because it's easier and they don't, it is kind of, it would be even more tragic, like, for those characters if they, express their feelings in these final moments, only for, her to die straight away. I guess there's some people like the ambiguity of it. I feel like there's people, the people who like the ambiguity of it are the people who didn't want them together. It's like, yeah, I'm fine with the ambiguity of it, the ending. You know, maybe they did love each other, maybe they didn't. Those are the people like, no, they didn't. I didn't want any of this stuff in my Doctor Who. Yeah, it just definitely felt like some stuff was left unsaid. But you know, that leaves the potential for future storytelling. No, it definitely
that ain't happening.
You know, if you've got a fan ship that pretty much, you know, was running your show, if there's headcanon that was pretty much keeping things afloat, like, why not keep the headcanon going?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, the people enjoying the show were the people who were shipping it. So,
yeah,
like, the only people you're going to piss off were the people who already, like, were complaining about it being a woman doctor and weren't watching anymore. So, at this stage, what did you have to lose? Like, of them making potentially some people actually happy with this end. Yes, it would have been shit that they finally like kiss or have a moment, or even, I don't know, fucking held hands. I don't know. Like, if yes, it would have been
swap
shit that
ice creams.
Maybe, yeah, something. I don't know. Maybe it would. Maybe it would have been weird to just have that, and then of course Doctor dies and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it would have been shit, but I feel like it would have been like, look, we were in a scenario like Jodie's on her way out. Like, we just thought we would just I don't know. I feel like I personally would have liked it. I think it would have been a payoff. Finally. Of a random shout out is at the end. I do like the idea of Graham having this whole let's tell Doctor stories companion support group. It's at first I was just going to be like, is this like them talking about how fucked up their lives are after the Doctor? But I do like the pitch of like, hey, I've had all these really great things and I can't talk to anyone about it because they'll put me in a loony bin. You know, like I like his whole pitch and everyone there.
Yeah.
The best, the most random shout out because straight away because I'm not recognizing several people there, right? So I go to you look in the credits, you're like, oh, that's fucking crazy. So what the old dude there is Ian, who's the very first companion, which I thought was a sort of crazy little cameo that shows up right at the end, because that actor, William Russell, now holds the record of a 57-year gap between episodes. Crazy. So,
get a feeling that's not going to be broken anytime soon.
No, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon he's going to hold that episode, that
record. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that they were able to get someone who was like in the
very first episode,
of
the show. Crazy. Yeah, definitely a cool little cameo. I felt. So, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to discuss before we just like to get into like obviously regeneration and what we think going forward and all that sort of stuff? Anything else from the rest of the episode?
No, I think, you know, it was just very messy, you know.
Yeah. The
whole plan. I did like the element of like the Master being the Doctor. I think I would have liked that more if it had been longer. Like,
yeah.
I like the idea of the Master being the Doctor for at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, clearly they spent some time together because obviously he said about setting those two planets against each other. And like, I think I saw like an audiobooks coming out sometime soon, so maybe that's going to fill in the gaps or something. But, you know, I appreciated his look as well. Obviously he's wearing
it's like something from nearly every Doctor,
but like mostly Baker, I want to say. With the
one thing of everything, you got the
broccoli,
celery, you got the broccoli,
celery stick.
You've got you've got the Sylvester McCoy jacket, the thing, whatever. You've got the coat thing was, I guess, a 12th Doctor thing, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I feel like you could. There's a little
of course, he had the earpiece.
The scar. He had the scarf from the 4th Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was stuff from a few there, maybe more than you even noticed if you had to go back and look, maybe. And then of course we get to the end of the episode.
Also, what's up with Jo Roberts? Like,
I have no idea.
The unknown Doctor. Was she a hologram this entire time? Is that what they were trying to imply?
No.
Okay.
Jo's a Doctor from somewhere. I don't know.
In the future or in the past? Who knows?
In the future or in the past. At this stage, it doesn't matter because once they said that the first Doctor was never actually the first Doctor, and once they opened that can of worms, Jo's the 200th Doctor, Jo's the first Doctor. I fucking don't know. It's like whatever. But we do continue to say William Hartnell's the first Doctor for the sake of
making
life
things
easier. Yes. So we get to the end of the episode, and then of course we get the regeneration scene. I felt like it was again, like it was, as far as like, it was sort of fitting for Jodie's Doctor. I guess to sort of have this one final moment. Her last lines weren't anything super memorable, like the whole tag you're it fits with her character, I guess.
Yeah.
Her like thing about like, oh, I just want to see what happens next, like the sort of inquisitive nature about her sort of fit as well. Yeah, so regenerates into David Tennant, who is officially the 14th Doctor. BBC and everyone's confirmed. Like Russell T Davies said, David Tennant is both the 10th and the 14th Doctor, which is crazy. And Ncuti Gatwa will be the 15th Doctor, somewhere along there. Big mystery.
Maybe.
Apparently. Very weird feelings I had watching it because, and again, this is the same sort of stuff I guess I've had in the lead up to this. I haven't loved the last couple of years of Doctor Who, not because of Jodie, but just because of the writing. The writing hasn't been super strong. There have been moments, there's been episodes, there's been little scenes, sure, there's little snippets of everything here or there to keep it interesting. But the grabbing Russell T Davies, the grabbing David Tennant, the let's bring Catherine Tate, like it's just so
go back to what we know was successful. Yeah.
And to a degree, and I've said this before, where like there is a part of me that is very much like feels good about it because I'm like, I've not been loving it, and knowing Russell T Davies is coming back, I'm like, well, I do like Russell T Davies Doctor Who, so like there's part of me that's like, yeah, I'm like sort of excited for that, but then there's the other part of me that goes, yeah, but it feels just so much like the pulling out the golden ticket, like he's calling in the savior to like sort of fix everything, and it really, the part that made me feel bad for Jodie, like as a actress, I guess, in her run for Doctor Who, because I do feel like she's got a horrible disservice. Like her Doctor was really good, but the writing wasn't there. But the fact that when she regenerates into David Tennant, that her fucking clothes regenerate as well, it felt
was kind of
yuck to me. It felt yuck.
Yeah, because that's never happened before, right?
It's happened before to like one or two Doctors, like in the original run. I looked it up. So it is a thing, but it's not a thing.
Nothing in this iteration.
Nothing in the new Who and everything. And it just felt very like wash her away back to David Tennant. Like let's forget about her. Like it was so used to, at least when the new Doctor regenerates, you have that first episode, that first special, where they're running around in the old Doctor's clothes and eventually they walk out in what will be their gear. So yeah, just getting rid of Jodie, it just felt weird. That felt very weird. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel when you saw David Tennant come back with his whole what?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit weird, like seeing the clothes change. But I think those of us kind of who have been following news around Doctor Who knew that this was what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Which is in certain aspects, it's like good because then we were kind of prepared for what was going to happen. And then we wouldn't be super upset about, they're kind of overshadowing Jodie's final moment. But part of me is like, how cool would that moment been to have been a secret?
The only reason we know is
because they've started filming.
They were already shooting. If they were
and they had to do it in public.
Yeah, if they were to start shooting after this, then they could have kept it a secret. And I assume they would have kept it a secret as a big reveal. But because they started shooting, but the thing with that too is they confirmed. Doctor Who's not back till November 2023.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It's
because Marvel's clogged up all the special effects studios.
Maybe. I assume it's because they're gonna. So that they've shot. I mean, when were they shooting it? Like months ago. They were shooting the special, right?
Yeah.
I assume they're going to start shooting the actual series soon, and then the
quickly
series will. Yeah, the special, which is apparently a 3-part special that starts in November. I don't know if that means it's week by week or maybe that's what it is. There's still a lot of details. Yeah, there's still a lot of details we need to know. But I'm assuming, and they've said Doctor Who, the next series is in 2023. So it's like, okay, so you're telling me 3 specials start in November and the next series is in 2023? So yeah, you're basically confirming the series will start pretty much straight after it. So I assume that's why we're not getting it to November, because they want to have this series come in straight after.
After, yeah, potentially.
Yeah. So
yeah, and obviously Ncuti has been busy doing the final season of Sex Education, and that kind of stuff. And obviously filming Barbie as well. So, yeah, it's an interesting, and just because the series is starting in November is what I haven't read the exact press release.
They didn't say the series starts in November. They said that the specials start in November.
Yeah, so the series could come out.
No, they said the series starts in 2023.
So they split them. Okay.
They said that specials, 3 specials, will start November 2023. The next series is also scheduled to start in 2023.
Yeah, so you'd have to assume December, maybe kicking off with like a Christmas episode or something.
Yeah.
Or a New Year's episode. No,
go back to the
New Year's Eve episode.
Go back to the Christmas specials.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that's crazy. I'm like, we don't have a New Year's or a Christmas special this year.
What are you going to do?
It's crazy. Just, what is life without a Doctor
Well,
Who
I mean, I'm sure we've had years without Doctor Who specials and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So if we get there was obviously a small teaser at the end.
Doesn't really tell you much, but
it doesn't tell you much, especially for those of us who have kind of followed
the pictures online.
The pictures
so
on stuff.
You see Neil Patrick Harris, you see Jodie, you see David Tennant,
you see a car explode. You know, that looked pretty good, like high quality. Maybe we do get a glimpse of Jodie. That's cool.
Yeah. Well,
in the realm that Jodie's in, while she's
I don't know. Is it?
That's what it looked like to me. I think he's there. He's like, what the fuck? I was next in. Why is this old dude come in and taking my spot?
Possible. Be funny bit. I assume the special, like you're saying, like this car looks good and everything. I assume the special is having a lot of money put into it because it is going to be the 60th special. Doctor Who's 60th anniversary special. Because Doctor Who started. That's what was weird. They're like, this year's the special is the BBC 100th centenary special of Doctor Who. I'm like, well, it's not really a Doctor Who special, but you're saying anyway. They're like, but next year
the BBC is pretty important.
Yeah, I know. But, and then next year the 60th special. So if they're saying November is when the special starts, that means it's going to be the 60th anniversary Doctor Who special. So I assume they're going to put a bit more money into that than they would your regular special.
Yeah, that's crazy that David Tennant is back to it. He did the 50th and now he's doing the 60th.
And I went and watched the 50th in a cinema, so hopefully they play this one in specials too. That'll be good. Anything else before we wrap up for a year?
Yeah, I'm excited, things look exciting for the future, I guess. Would have loved to have Jodie to have a better run, but it is what it is, and we'll see what happens from here.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically how I feel. I wish Jodie had got a better run, but I am very optimistic about the future with Russell T. There was my quick funny story. I was reading an interview of David Tennant where he said the whole reason that any of this happened was apparently in lockdown they were doing like Doctor Who watch-alongs or whatever, and him, Catherine Tate, and Russell T Davies were doing watch-along of Doctor Who that people were doing, like, I don't know, on the BBC, maybe they're replaying episodes and people were doing like Twitter tweet-alongs, and they were messaging each other like about it, and apparently watching something and being like, man, good times, wouldn't it be great if we could do Doctor Who together? I was like, oh yeah, very funny and all this sort of stuff. And then David Tennant said he never heard anything about it for like they didn't talk for ages. Next second he sees like Russell T Davies is announced as the next showrunner, and then he reached out and was like, hey, do you want to come back? And he was like, well, yeah. So yeah, it was just a weird assortment of events, but it's just funny to think of them three just like doing watch-alongs of Doctor Who, just like tweeting, like texting each other, like, remember our good times? Like, wouldn't it be great to do this? Because apparently they said at the time, like, wonder if we could ask to do a special or a one-off or something, like, was what they were saying to one another.
Like a missing adventure or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that is what they were like talking about possibly. So yeah, it's funny how all these things come together. But yeah, I'm optimistic for the future. Disappointed in this last couple of years just for Jodie, but optimistic. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll be back, I guess, when before November next year, whenever like a first proper trailer drops or something, we'll have come up on here and discuss all the news and the trailer that we've had up until that point. But yeah, no more Doctor Who until November 2023. Crazy. Thank you for joining us for this run, this season of Fish Fingers Custard.
These 3 episodes. It's 3 very spread out episodes.
3 very spread out episodes. You can find other podcasts like this, of course, on explosionhour.com, including Holocron Entries, which is airing right now. We're talking about all things Andor. Going rogue, if any talkers want to hear us talk about another sci-fi fantasy franchise, Star Wars. And check out What Do You Want to Watch from myself and Ash, talking about everything else, movies, TV, and media. Of course, you can follow up Explosion Network on our Twitters. Go to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter to go to there. Head to explosionnetwork.com/support, where you can donate to show support for this show or show support for explosionnetwork.com in general. And until 2023, Alonzi?
Alonzi?